Today I'm going to teach you how to make this fun, spooky eyeball purse in honor of spooky season coming up. Or if you just like weird things like me, then let's go. So first off, materials to make this. I personally use a 4.25 crochet hook. Honestly, if I were you, I would size up a few hook sizes. I usually crochet on the looser side. I used black, white, green. You could use like purple or orange, and then red. And to start off this pattern, you're going to start with a magic circle. I'm probably not the best at showing this, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here. If you need help with that, maybe go check out a video for a specific how-to on the magic circle and then come back. But once you're ready, you're going to do 8 half double crochets into the center of the magic circle. This black yarn is not my friend, but you get the gist. And after you've done that, you're going to pull the loose end as tight as you can to bunch it up into a circle. It's always a good idea to count your stitches, especially with black yarn. So I'm just counting here. I did in fact have 8. And then for your next round, you are going to do 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. So when you're done with that row, you are going to end up with 16. So I'm doing my second half double crochet in that very first stitch. And then you're going to repeat. I'm going to do 1, maybe if I can get my hook through, and then 2 in that same stitch, all the way around in all 8 of the stitches, so you will end with 16 for that row. So each row is going to end up increasing by 8 stitches. So for this row, we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, followed by 2 half double crochets into the next. And then you're going to repeat that all the way around until you have 24 stitches. So 1 in the next, and 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. All the way around. I'll meet you there. Okay, so when you have 2 stitches left, you're going to do 1 half double crochet in the first, and then you're going to do your first half double crochet into that last stitch, and then you're going to start your second by yarning over and pulling through, and then you leave those 3 loops on the hook, and then you're going to add in your new color. So the color of your pupil, this is where we're going to add that in now, and you're just going to grab that and pull that through the 3 loops. And then pull the black and the loose end of your new color to kind of tighten it all down, and then we'll start a new row. Okay, so for the first row with our new color, we are going to start by putting a half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. So 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and then 2 half double crochets into that third stitch. And then we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets in the next, and then we're going to continue that all the way around, and you will end up with 32 stitches. Also, my apologies, both my husband and my son are on the computer screaming. But when you have 3 stitches left at the end of this row, you're going to do 1 half double crochet in the first, 1 half double crochet in the next, and then 2 half double crochets in the last stitch, and then we're going to start our new row. All right, you should know the drill. So for this row, we are going to do a half double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and then follow that pattern all the way around. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then 2 in that last one there. Follow that all the way around. You're going to end with 40 stitches in this row. So when you have 4 stitches left, you should be doing 1 half double crochet in the first 3, and then 2 half double crochets into that last stitch. All right, so now you should have 40 stitches, and then we're going to start another round here with our green. So now you're going to do a half double crochet into each of the first 4 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the next. One, two, three, 4, and then 2, and then follow that pattern all the way around. You will end with 48. So we are going to do a color change here. So you're going to keep following your pattern up till the end of that row, but then in that last stitch where you do your last increase with the 2 half double crochets in your last stitch, you're going to do only the first half double crochet into that stitch, and then the first half of the second half double crochet, leaving the 3 hooks on your hook, or the 3 stitches on your hook, to finish out that stitch when you add your new color. So tighten those strings, and then you can cut the green off at this point. So now for your first row of white, you're going to do a half double crochet into each of the first 5 stitches, followed by 2 half double crochets into the next, and then all the way around. So you're going to follow that pattern all the way around, and you're going to end with 56 stitches in your first row of white. All right, for your next row of white, you're going to do a half double crochet into each of the first 6 stitches, followed by 2 half double crochets into the next. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, followed by 2 in the next. Follow that all the way around, and you're going to end with 64 stitches. For your next row of white, you're going to do 1 half double crochet into each of the first 7 stitches, followed by 2 half double crochets in the next, and you're going to do that all the way around, and then you'll end with 72 stitches. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 in the next. Repeat that all the way around. I'll meet you there. Okay, this is going to be our last row of white, and we are going to do 1 half double crochet into each of the first 8 stitches, followed by 2 half double crochets in the next. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 80 stitches. Alright, we're actually going to do a color change at the end of this row, so when you do get to that last stitch with that last increase of the 2 half double crochets in the last stitch, make sure to only do that first half double crochet plus the first half of the second half double crochet, so we can switch to our red for the final row of this bag. Okay, for the last row, we are still going to follow the same increase pattern that we've been doing, but with single crochets. So we're going to put 1 single crochet into each of the first 9 stitches, followed by 2 single crochets into the next, repeat all the way around. And then when you get to the end, you can just slip knot into the first stitch and tie it off. Okay, for your back panel of the bag, you can either just do another eye like we just did, so it's reversible, or you can do a plain side like I did. So you would just follow the same increase pattern without any color changes, and you would do white rows until you were at 80 stitches, and then finish off with a round of the red in single crochet. For the veins, you can kind of freehand this however you want. So I just have a plastic needle and a fairly long string, and then I'm going to go in there and just kind of freehand this and make up my own pattern. So definitely feel free to do your own thing. I kind of just rotated between these short little lines, and then the next like little section over, I would make longer like split looking veins to kind of switch it up, and I would just kind of rotate between short and then these longer veins, so you'll see what I mean once I kind of get started here. And then like here, I felt like there was too much space, so I went back in and I added a little line over there to that one that was in the middle just to kind of fill in the space. So just improvise and do your own thing and do what you think looks best and what you like. And just continue that all the way around. Now for loose ends, I'm not terribly picky if I'm making just a project for myself about it being super perfect, so I usually just tie them in a few knots and then cut off most of the excess so there's only like short little ties left. Sometimes I'll weave in the ends within the project just to like reinforce it a little bit and make it look a little cleaner. You can definitely do whatever you want. You can also add a liner to your bag, which would hide some of these ends when you're done, or you could like hot glue some felt, like cut out a circle and then put the felt on there just to kind of hide all of those ends if you wanted like a crisp, clean inside to your bag. But if not, you can just go in, tie all of your ends together, hide some of those strings, and do whatever works for you. Also, I didn't cut a long enough piece of my red yarn to finish the veins all in one go, so then when I had to stop, I got distracted and I started doing some of my loose ends on the back before going in and finishing my veins. So that's why this part actually probably looks a little weird. You'll have more strings to clean up by the time you're done than I have right here. Okay, and then don't forget to add your little light reflection in the pupil. So I just have a short white string, and then I'm going to go in and sew similar to how I did the veins, and then you can situate that however you like. I just did like 2 lines next to each other just to make it a little thicker, and then I tied that off on the opposite side and cut off my loose ends. So once you have a front and a back of your bag, however you decide to do that, make sure you put the sides with the loose ends both on the inside so you have the proper sides facing out. And then since this isn't really like a perfect circle, I think it's like an octagon. There's kind of like some lines you can see where it should kind of line up to make everything look even. Okay, so here you're just going to have to decide kind of how big you want that opening to stay so you know where to start sewing and end sewing. but you can kind of watch to see what I did and then decide if you need a space that big or bigger. To sew it up, you see how there's kind of like an inner stitch and an outer stitch on both of these panels. So you're just going to stitch through the inner stitches on both panels, just kind of zigzag back and forth throughout the whole thing. So you can kind of see me do that here. And then continue just like that all the way around until your ending point. So I'm leaving the top kind of this open, like a little bit farther on each side than the top of the like straight line at the very top of the bag, just to make it a little bit wider. But just do what works for you. So wherever you decide to end at, just kind of weave your needle out through the yarn and then tie it off with a few different knots. And then you can go in and hide that yarn through the rest of the stitches and cut off your loose ends. So unless you add a liner or some felt, the inside's going to kind of look like this. And then I'll show you how I chose to make my handles, but you can definitely do a different style if you prefer. So to start my straps, I'm going to do a chain 4. Okay, so put your hook through the first stitch, yarn over and pull through, hook in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, hook in the last stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then make sure that you chain 1 at the end. So pull through that first stitch, and then you're going to go ahead and yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, and then you're going to start your next row. So you're going to put your hook through that bar, yarn over and pull through, hook under the bar, yarn over and pull through, and then put your hook through that last stitch, and then yarn over and pull through, chain 1, and then you can go through and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're just going to repeat that for as long as you want to make your strap. I made 2 shorter handles, but you can make a longer strap and do like a crossbody or however you want to do that. So just follow this pattern and make it as long as you so desire. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to end these straps. So you're going to put your hook through the bar like you've been doing, but then you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops right away. And then under the next bar, yarn over, pull through both loops, and then in that last stitch, yarn over and pull through both loops, and then you can just cut off your loose ends and pull it through and tie it off. So if you are going to make 2 straps like I did, just follow that same pattern and make a second one the same length. So this is kind of how I situated mine. So you want the pattern that's showing like the bars that we were working with on the outsides of the bag, and then you're just going to kind of position that where you want that to be, and then you want it to be like flat, so make sure that your straps aren't twisted when you attach them. I personally always pre-stretch out my straps a little bit because I know that they're going to get worn out and stretch. So I always kind of stretch them in advance and turn it into this like round ropey texture because I like the way it looks, but you definitely don't have to do that. And then I just leave the ends kind of on the flatter side so that way I can sew them onto the bag. So if you left long enough length when you tied off the yarn from the strap, then you can just use that to sew on the first side. But if you need to grab a new piece of yarn, it doesn't matter, you can do that too. So go ahead and position that however you need to sew on that first part. So just make sure when you're stitching these pieces together that you're keeping the red stitches of the strap lined up with the red stitches on the last row of the eyeball. So that way everything still looks nice and clean after you're done sewing. And then just go through and stitch back and forth as many times as you need to make it feel stable and secure. So when you think you've stitched it on nice and secure, just go through and put your hook through some of the stitches and pull your needle through that loop and tie off some knots to finish it off. And then you can go through and sew in your loose ends. And then I'm totally sorry I didn't show this, but hopefully you get the gist. You're gonna do that with the other side of this strap and then with the two sides of your next strap if you're doing two handles. Sorry, bear with me, this is my first video. But after you get your handles all squared away on all four sides, then your bag is gonna be good to go. And now you have your funky, spooky eyeball bag. I hope you love it and continue to follow along for more tutorials.